The mind is not matter, nor is it energy. It is a functional note of consciousness which is supra-material and supra-energial. In that mind level, my dear souls, we are not at all lesser than anybody else in this world. There is external inequality, agreed, but there is internal, full and abundant equality. The soul is in everyone. God is equally proximate to all people. An external substance may be differently distant from others, but the internal is equally dear, near and close to everyone. Is not your mind close to you? Is a rich man's mind closer to him than a poor man's mind closer to the poor man? No. Our mind is very close to us. Our intelligence is close to us. Our soul is closest we ourselves. So look into your own inside and find out. Our mind has got infinite potential, and it has got an endless possibility also. He is clearly telling Parikshit, and through Parikshit to the entire continuing humanity, what? You have got a precious mind, a powerful mind, a potent mind. Understand it, employ it, use it, harness it. You will have no sufferings at all in this world. Every suffering will be mitigated and obliterated by your mind. Mind you, it is this mind that puts you to sleep every day. After a long day of hard work, in which you may have pleasant as well as unpleasant interactions, leading to a number of stresses, strains and other things, you will find at the end of the day, you are comfortably put to sleep. The whole world, all the activities along with the outcomes, all things are completely obliterated, and you are embraced by your own invisible inner soul. That is what gives you refreshment. The thief sleeps, the holy Brahmana, the ascetic also sleeps, the king sleeps, the moneyed man sleeps, the beautiful woman sleeps, the ugly person sleeps, the drunkard and the mad also sleep. And sleep is common. This is the inner embrace of the soul, equally available to one and all. It is that sleeping mind that wakes up. It is the same mind that produces a dream. In the dream, it gives you a counter world, a parallel world. So what is the power of the mind? Such a mind you have. Understand it very well, very well. The mind is not in the body. The body is within the mind. Mind comes first, last. Everything is felt by the mind. That I have a body is a feeling you have, the mind produces. So the mind is very great. Now here, think of this 5-year-old boy. What happened? He went to his father Uttanapada. He had a stepmother, Suruji. That Suruji had a son, Uttama. When he went to the father, Uttama was already sitting on the lap of the father. This boy went. After all, Uttanapada was a king. So he went with a lot of affection, shaking his body, etc. When he found Uttama, the cousin brother, the step brothers you can say, seated on the lap of the father, he thought, I must also sit. So he went there. Uttanapada was not extending his hand, come, sit on my lap. He did not say. The stepmother was by the side. She understood that this boy wants to sit. So she started speaking to him in a very scornful manner. My dear boy, you don't know. This lap is not for you at all. It is for Uttama, my son alone. If you want to sit on the lap, you don't know. You will have to get born from my womb. And except when I mother you, you will not be able to sit. This is what the mother said. You know, the father heard these words in an unmoved manner. He had nothing else to say. No, that is not right. I will put him on my lap, and then warmed him up. No, he kept quiet, unable to lift his tongue. Can you imagine the agony, the discomfiture the 5-year-old boy had in the hands of the father and the stepmother? He burst into tears, rushed to his mother, Sunidhi. The mother warmed him up, embraced him and said, but Ultimately, what could the mother do? Nothing she could do. So she narrated her own suffering. What is that suffering? My dear boy, what your stepmother said is correct. Only when you have the stepmother as your real mother, you will be able to sit on the lap. For that she also suggested, you may have to propitiate Lord Vishnu. This also she happened to say. So meanwhile, Suniti had already received all the message to the palace through the palace people. So she said, not only you, my dear son, I am also like a maidservant. I am for namesake alone his wife, the queen, but I don't have any status, I don't have any position. He is actually shy and afraid and reluctant to call me or to see me as a wife. So what the stepmother said is correct. The only way to redress your grief, your distress is for you to propitiate Lord Vishnu. So go to Madhuvanam alone. You know, up to this, everything is okay. All of you are parents and you have unquestionable affection to your children. I agree. So when he suffers from a distress, you will also try to console him in this manner. Up to now, it is okay. But what did Suniti say next? My dear son, you will not have any redress in this palace. The only way for you to console yourself, to redress your distress, the only way is to proceed to the forest, sit alone in solitude and steep yourself in austerity to propitiate Lord Mahavishnu, and by his blessings you will be crowned, she said. Can you imagine a mother giving this kind of a message to the son and sending him all alone to the forest? These are days when you have school buses in Delhi and other areas, where your children are transported every day safely to the school and brought back. Even then, if the school bus does not arrive or 10 or 15 minutes delay are there, oh, what a cyclone your mind will be waging. What happened? Criss-cross telephone calls, etc. Why? Why don't you wait? After all, he is taken. If some accident or something like that has happened, the news will come to you. Why do you mentally cause accident every time there is a little delay? There are a number of traffic jams here. For us to go to the lecture hall, we start very early. Sometimes we get held up. The other day we were only 100 meters away from the auditorium. And meanwhile 20-25 minutes passed. So anything can happen. Why is it that we don't have a reliance? Can you rely upon God? Is the child actually yours? Bhagavata says, Sa rakshita rakshati yo hi garbhe. Whoever protects you in the mother's womb, that alone is the protector when you are delivered of, when you come out also. Never claim that I am the parent, I will protect my child. With what will you protect? Even your own life breath does not depend upon you. What to speak of your protecting, extending your hand and resources, another person? It is impossible. Better come to the right discretion in your mind. The earlier you understand the truth, better. Learn to be a devotee. Learn to be a seeker. Try to rely upon God. Rest on Him. All your powers which you have in your body, in your mind, in your intelligence, with your ego, understand that all these are but given by God, bestowed upon by Him. There is nothing above God. Everything is after Him. As the Upanishads would sing, Tameva bhandam anubhadi sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhadi. Only when that shining, other things shine. Like sun, moon, stars, fire, lightning, etc. There must be a causal shine, a causal luster, and that is what we call God. Only when God is present, other things are there. Maybe you have your own individual powers, individual potentials. They are not beyond or besides God's. Understand this well and learn to rely upon Him. That is why I say, be a devotee, be a seeker. This is what you should always say. So you understand very clearly that whether you are the parent or not, ultimately there is only one parent for the whole world, for the whole universe. Rely upon Him. So 5 or 10 minutes late, suddenly you should not come into conclusion and think negatively and make hundreds of telephone calls. Rely upon, have patience, have composure. And here is where Suniti strikes you as an eternal example. How she tells his son. And what is the son? The young Dhruva, he was spurned by the father, abused by the stepmother. And he started crying. He goes to the mother. The mother tells him of her own helplessness. Helplessness. The mother is to be pitied. The son also is to be pitied. She confesses her own plight. Then exhorts the son to do penance to propitiate Mahavishnu. Now he has to go all alone. No, the little boy. I am asking your own children, if you are told, first of all, as a parent, will you tell this message, give this message to your child? And what will be the response of the child? Expressing helplessness, Suniti now asks Dhruva to go to the forest and steep himself in complete stunning penance. This is the message. Dhruva, without any doubt, the 5-year-old boy started. And when he was going, sage Narada intercepted him. My dear son, child, where are you going? I am going to propitiate, do penance and propitiate Lord Mahavishnu. Lord Mahavishnu? You are going to propitiate such a young boy like you? So many people elder to you have tried, and all of them found it very hard, they could not. And are you the little boy who is going to succeed in propitiating Lord Mahavishnu? Don't make this attempt at all. It is going to be in vain. Better retreat. You know what Dhruva said? My dear sage, I respect you, I adore you, all right. But you should understand that I am a Kshatriya. I have got the warrior and fighting and that conquering blood I have. If propitiation of Mahavishnu is a venture from which so many people have recoiled, they are unable to propitiate him. That is all the more reason why I should make a wholesome attempt and succeed. Shall I stop here? My dear viewers, will you take this message? So many people have failed. That is all the more reason why I should succeed, and therefore I will make a readable attempt. If you have anything to tell me in support of it, encouraging it, and perhaps blessing me, I shall accept. Otherwise, close your mouth, my dear sage, and get away from here. Narada was very pleased. Bah! Here is a beautiful boy. He is far ahead of his age. He is only 5 years old bodily, but he is exhibiting a wisdom, a discretion, a resolution or a resolve, which is matching with a middle-aged man, 45 or 50. He was very pleased. So he instructed him properly, giving him a mantra, and said, go to Madhuvanam and do your penance in this manner. Advised, instructed, encouraged and blessed by Narada Maharshi, Dhruva goes to Madhuvanam, and in the depth of the forest, the boy sat and he started doing penance. Penance, my dear souls, penance is something that anybody can do. No money is required, no external material is required, no particular place, occasion or surroundings are necessary. It is something done by your mind. Throughout your life, excepting the hours of sleep, don't you have your mind with you? And to do penance, only mind is required. It's an exclusive mental pursuit, activity and involvement. This is called penance. Even the lips need not move, the hands need not move. You don't have to do an elaborate puja bringing baskets full of flowers. No, nothing like that. No fire need be ignited. No lamp need be hit. No lamp need be lit. See, we have heard about Parvati doing penance in order to get Paramashiva as her husband. And she steeped herself in penance. What was the penance? She was alone there, a young girl, wanting to have a proper choice, a proper marital choice. That's all what she had. So penance is something that anybody can do. Nobody is debarred from it. Nobody is at a disadvantage in this mission of penance. So he goes to Madhuvanam. Initially he started eating only one meal. After some time he stopped that also. He started drinking only water. That also he stopped. Finally he was breathing only air. After some time even breath was stopped. By the time 5 months had passed, the whole world, it's an exaggeration of course, the whole world became breathless because of the little boy doing such a severe penance, refusing to take even breath, the life-supporting air. When it came to that, Mahavishnu was appealed by so many people. He proceeded himself, the four-handed Mahavishnu. He came. When he stood in front of him, Dhruva was already closing his eyes and he was contemplating upon the four-handed form of Lord Hari Mahavishnu, the brilliant form. He was completely merged there, involved there, and suddenly it disappeared. When it disappeared, it had a stunning effect on the boy. He opened his eyes. What happened? Then Mahavishnu stands in front. When Mahavishnu was standing in front, it was so stunningly surprising that the poor boy did not know what to do. When you see God or even remember God, the words that come out of your mouth will be that of a hymn, a praise. So he was unable to do anything. He was speechless. After all, he was only 5 years old. Mahavishnu understood his discomfiture, consternation. So he took his conch and started stroking his cheek. What do you mean by conch? Conch produces a beautiful sound. Anybody can blow. You may not have a good voice. Your breath also will be crude and smelly. But if you start blowing using your breath through the conch, you will find it produces the same uniform, beautiful sound. Oh, like that it will produce a sound. Very beautiful. Now he stroked his cheek. Naturally, Dhruva felt very confident and he started praising the Lord. This praise of the young Dhruva is very, very singular in Sreemad Bhagavatam. Sreemad Bhagavatam contains a number of praises. All these praises are very colorful, highly elaborate, metaphysical, philosophical, spiritual. It generates and instills devotion, the intense devotion in the mind of people. It also instills dispassion. It also brings God awareness, God consciousness. Bhakti, Virakti and Bhagavat Prabodha. All the three will be generated by different praises. Now, Dhruva's praise also is very important. I would like to recite the opening verse of this hymn of Dhruva, explain it, and then we will proceed further. Yonda pravishya mama vajamimam prasuptam sanjeevayatyakila shaktidhara swadhamna anyamscha hastacharana shravanatvagadin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. Very, very suggestive and highly illumining. Yondah pravishya mama vajamimam prasuptam sanjeevayatyakila shaktidhara swadhamna. God can be praised in any manner. You can praise Him after anything, for anything, in any manner. It all depends upon the nature of the man who praises, who prays to God, the purpose for which he prays, and what is the knowledge, understanding that he has about God and other allied factors. It all depends upon. Now, Dhruva praises him in this manner. Pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. My prostration to you, Supreme Purusha. The word Purusha has got a very significant meaning. Puri shete iti Purushaha. Puri actually means a kind of a township, a city. Whoever is residing in that Puri is called Purusha. This is how we all become Purushas. Whether it is a female body or a male body, the resident in the body is always a Purusha. And our body is considered to be a Pura or a town or a city because it has got 9 gates. Maybe I have told you already. Because I am recording it at different times and there is a lot of time lag in between. I don't always remember what I spoke earlier and where. And I speak from different platforms also. So you will find sometimes some of these ideas and narrations have a repetitive character, and actually it is good. If you were to read Srimad Bhagavatam, will you not be reading it over and over again? So suddenly when Swamiji speaks an episode or a particular part of the narration a second time or a third time, you should actually be feeling happy. Now so far as telecast is concerned, every time this is telecast, it involves money also. In spite of it, we are doing it. So you should look at it in a proper manner and have a proper assessment. Yom daf pravishya mama vachamimam prasuptam pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. That is from where I spoke. So God here is treated as residing in our body. And our body is really a township, I said. Swamiji, how does it become a township? Think of the dream that you are experiencing. Is it not very extensive? In your dream, are you not finding actually a new world? A new world, maybe a country. What should be the area of a country? And what all buildings, routes and other things are their paths? If all of them have to be contained within your body, naturally the inside will have to be a township. There is a lot of imagination, my dear souls. You cannot just leave things as it is. Many of you are eating, drinking, wearing good dresses, marrying, having a few children, maybe buying or constructing a house, living there. Maybe you have a profession. You become a grandfather or a grandmother. Finally you leave. You never take a glance within your body. What is the expanse and the area the biological body contains? Is the world in our mind or our mind in the world? The answer will be the entire world is reflected, projected and experienced by the mind within you. I cannot experience expanse unless I feel it in myself. Suppose I see an ocean. The entire ocean is present within my body. So is not my body a large township or a country? In order to host and contain such a large area and a variety of existences. That is why the Lord is considered to be the Purusha. Why? He is containing the whole universe in himself. Yom daf pravishya mama vachamimam prasuptam sanjeevayati akhila shakti dharaha swadhamna. Just see how he describes. Oh my dear Supreme Lord Purusha, yaha, who? Andaf pravishya, entering my inside, mama vachamimam prasuptam, my speech, which is dormant, the dormant speech. You see, I sit before the camera here. The entire camera team is in my front, around me. And they say, yes, Swamiji, you can speak. Suddenly I begin to speak. The same thing I do from different platforms also. I only look at the people and they want me to speak. I am also ready to speak. Then continuously words start coming from the mouth. Who generates these words? Where from are they generated? What is at the back of it? I don't know where ideas are formed. And the formed ideas are transmitted to the vocal system. That also I don't know. Finally the words come out of the tongue, teeth, lips, nose, etc. Only the words I hear. Who actually displays these? Where is the generation going on? How the transmission is made? How the conversion of ideas into sound energy, how is it made? So there is a lot of process and mystery in the whole affair. And who is responsible for it? Srimad Bhagavatam and also the five-year-old boy Dhruva, both of them say that it is the Supreme Lord Purusha. Yaha andaf pravishya mama vajam imam prasuptam sanjeevayati. The word used is sanjeevayati. Who is, after having entered my inside, who is activating my speech. I wanted to praise you, my dear Lord. No word came out of my mouth. You stroked my cheek with your conch, and now I feel like speaking, and this is the first praise I utter. How is it that these words are coming out? According to me, what I feel is that you alone, Swadhamna, by your inner presence, The word used is Swadhamna. It means by your own presence. What does God do in order to activate the speech of so many people, animals and birds in this world? He doesn't do anything. He is present in the body of every creature. There is no place where He is not. He is particularly present in all the bodies, all the creatures, their bodies. So by virtue of your own presence, how can you activate? Not merely speech, so many other things. So what is your potential? He says, Akhila Shakti Dharaha. My dear viewers, are you hearing me? Is your idea about God undergoing a progressive, constant revolution, change? You generally are associated with some pictures and idols. That's all. But understand, the picture you worship, the idol you worship, it is actually idolizing God, representing God. And what God it represents, that godly dimension, sometime or the other, as an adult mind, as an adult intelligence, you should be able to reflect upon, comprehend and contain. Srimad Bhagavata aims to do it for you. It forces you to think about God. It forces you to contemplate upon the higher supra-material and supra-energial dimensions. And the whole touch is within your own heart. You don't have to travel a distance in order to have a touch or a feel of God. He is right within you. Swadhamna Akhila Shakti Dharaha. He wields all the powers. Brahman, the supreme reality, the Paramatma, God, is a presence in which all the infinite powers are contained. The substances and products of the world have got limited properties. Now fire will heat and burn. Water will wet and flow. Air will blow and dry. The earth will simply remain and digest. These are the limited powers of these natural elements. When it comes to God, all the multiple, endless, infinite powers He has. Whatever is required at whichever time, for whatever purpose, that will be manifest at that particular time.